out there in social media land and out in Philly and everybody else who's watching, the people in Atlanta that watch. Hey, everybody. So EA and I were having a very good discussion. That's why I like having EA on my podcast. So let me just say something.
Let's get into it.
I'm not an egotistical type of person, and I appreciate so much that EA is on my podcast with me because you have no idea. Because he doesn't have to be. Let's say. So I always love when he gives me advice and he tells me things, because I don't know if he knows that I'm listening, but I do pay attention to the things that he tells me. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I pay attention because why? Because I know that EA been out here for a while and he been in the business. He's been doing things and I haven't. So I pay attention because, like EA said, a lot of times my topics, and I can say it be issues that I personally be feeling some type of way about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
you're entitled. But go ahead.
Right. But it's not always. But it's not always the time for all of that. But, so I understand.
But when we started talking about off the subject like hours ago about the young lady that's been dragged off the bus.
No, she actually wasn't dragged off the bus.
I mean, she was manipulated or followed off the bus, and then later on.
That's why it made me mad. This is what really made me upset with it. He killed her on the bus while everybody was on the bus and they watched.
Oh, like stabbing her?
No, he strangled her with a plastic bag, a plastic bag. He got on the bus.
In Arizona, right?
Yes, in Arizona.
Y'all can pull up the story.
He got on the bus and sat next to the young lady, and he pulled out a plastic bag, and he strangled her. Now, mind you, it takes a long time to choke somebody out. So all the people that were sitting on the bus, they watched him kill her, and they did nothing. And that is the reason why that was my whole thing, was watch your surroundings, people, because you don't never know who around you. And that was my whole purpose of wanting to talk about it. Because you might think you're safe when you get on the bus. Right. But when I pulled that story up to read it, some other stuff popped up, and there was like so many thousands of these type of incidents, not exactly this type, but so many are happening to black women, and not just young black women of all ages. So I guess because I am a black woman, that bothered me. Because if you get on a bus and minding your business, and someone that's out of their mind, they come sitting down next to you, you're not paying no attention. Somebody just sit next to you, and he pulls out a plastic bag and he kills you while you're on your way home to your 5 children.
Let's say a man in Arizona. I'm gonna read this story so y'all can.
Right.
A man in Arizona who allegedly strangled a woman on a city bus, leading her to die from internal decapitation, has been arrested. Now, say Joshua Bagley, 26, is expected to be charged with first-degree murder and the death of Diane Craig, 41, who was found not breathing on a bus on Friday morning. The Phoenix Police Department said charges were pending on Wednesday. After several days and tireless efforts that were a collaboration of partners between units, Mr. Bagley is currently in police custody as booking and interview process is complete. Police said surveillance footage shows Bagley, who boarded the bus separately, strangling Craig with bag straps and pushing her to the ground. He also took several items from her. Craig was later found with the bag straps still around her neck. She was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The bus driver told the police that noticed Bagley moved to the front of the bus before getting off outside of a quick trip. And that's, if you go to it, you can pull it right up. It's just right on the news, man. Now, Bagley was arrested on Tuesday after police received a tip, suspicious person. Court paperwork revealed that he also been booked and released just days earlier on related charges. So I guarantee you're going to be crazy and all that kind of stuff. Mental health is going to come into play. That's what, you know, when we was talking about it on the other side, I was saying, because it's so much of just not that. Right now on the top of my agenda is gun violence and all over the world, but mainly Philadelphia because that's where I live. So I'm more of a person that, because I guess studying sociology a little bit and psychology, I know that you got to really worry about your circumference of your background, your front yard and your backyard, and even your side yards. Because when you buy a home or you rent a home, you rent or you buy that community. Mm-hmm. So whatever's going on in that particular community, from a sociology perspective, meaning how them group of people live, that area live, you're going to suffer a little bit of that, and it's just for the young lady, for her family, and if she had children.
She got 5 children.
I see, and please don't judge me by saying that I'm numb to that, because it's been so many. I know personal people that I grew up with who female daughters have been murdered, like from gun violence. And I watch them every day. Now it's been a few years or just new, be putting stuff up on Instagram or Facebook or social media, just how depressing they are, how depressed they are as they try to learn different ways of life to cope with what they're going through. And this is their children. Right. Their children, so I kind of play defense, not just with being in the street, as we always talked about when we talk about that topic. I play defense with certain things that's not around my psyche.
Before you go on, because you made that statement, I'm a person that child got murdered, but my daughter did not get murdered through gun violence. So I never joined any of those groups that people invited me to, because my issue with my daughter, they never cared about. And I know they might not have thought about it like that, but my issue wasn't as brought to the forefront, because my daughter was murdered by someone that I knew, that I was close to. So first I was ridiculed. I was ridiculed. People that didn't know me. Right. And people shied away from the issue with me and my daughter, but the people whose children was murdered by gun violence was more important. So maybe to me, when I bring up stuff, it's because nobody cared about what happened to me. All of that other stuff was more important, but I hurt just as bad as anybody else, mother.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe that makes you understand why I bring certain other stuff up. Because this girl, mother, and her kids too, she's gone. And her mom pain ain't going to be no different from anybody's child pain.
That's why
that got shot. You understand what I'm saying? And then too, because that's a good issue that you brought up with the gun issue, because when you're talking about the politics, you know how many states just changed their concealed weapon laws?
Yeah, I've been seeing that.
So many states have changed, like New York, like who?
But nothing's gonna shock me.
Like
Listen,
Texas, like you could just walk around with your gun. I'm a realistic person. Hitting.
I keep it 100 with myself. And if you're over a certain age, like this is for the sake of ages 30, you shouldn't. It's not too much you should be shocked about, people. Like, we come from the Wild Wild West. You ever watch a cowboy movie?
Yeah.
Watch an old school cowboy movie with your grandmom, your grandfather, your uncle, or your aunt, or somebody older, or with your new boo. Watch an old school cowboy movie. We come from that.
Like, we come from a bunch of people that was barbarians. That's the bottom line.
Cowboy and Indian days. Are you serious?
Yeah, for real. Absolutely.
Well, but listen, just walk down the street, just go right in the bank and rob that joint.
It's still like cowboys and Indians, but it's worse.
No, it's not like cowboy and Indians. Where you going?
It's worse.
All right. You imagine going in.
You get on the subway and then you get shot.
What's the Lear Core Center?
Wells Fargo.
Imagine going to Wells Fargo Center and everybody like this. Hold up. Everybody strapped up.
They can walk right in with their guns.
Double guns like this. Everybody in the Wells Fargo. No, it's the police station in Wells Fargo and everybody watching the Sixers. Embiid. No, I would not want to go. No. That means everybody who is able to have a pistol. No, I like it the way it is.
Yes. Well, I don't know, maybe because I've been in North Carolina and they are an open carry state and they are able to.
That's why.
But in their stadiums, you cannot take your guns in there. You can't take your weapons in there. You got to go through the metal detector.
I will never ever live.
I've been to the stadium to watch the Eagles play.
The municipalities are more Europeans. I'm sorry.
Our municipality is more European here, right in Pennsylvania.
No.
Oh shit.
That just changed a little bit. No, we had a couple We had a couple.
Well, this is the reason why when you say, listen, because you said you would be a good politician. I would not
think Khadijah would be a great politician.
No, I wouldn't though, because politicians don't touch on issues that they need to touch on.
Take the political word out. Take the word politician out as y'all defined it.
Take
that out. Take take tician. I don't give a.
More like a community
crazy.
Community activist would be more.
Y'all going crazy with these words that y'all really don't even understand the full meaning of. That you just got taught less than 200 years ago, and you're trying to act like you understand it more better than the people that created the word.
No, because actually, like I'm like an etymology type of individual, so I know what.
You ain't make the words though.
Like, no, because they Greek and they're Roman.
You
and
ain't create the words.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
None of the words we speak, we create. We don't even know what the hell we saying.
All right then.
That's why you got to study etymology, so you do know what you're saying. You know the origins of the words you speak, like politician, poly, many, ticks, many, blood suckers. And that I got from my sociology professor. That was a word that he used.
I don't think bloodsucker was in it, though.
Yes, tick. What's a tick? A blood-sucking creature.
All right, let's ask.
No, that's what my professor used in school.
I know, because was he black or white?
No, he was white.
See?
He said politician.
He was one of the ones that they ain't let in.
Poly means many. I'm glad they didn't, because I better need him. I needed him as a professor more so, because he could do something in the classroom.
I'm just playing, because I love all races.
But this is our thing. I love all races. First of all, because people always be like, you're racist. So first of all, let me just.
They be saying that about you.
They always say I'm racist. But let me just say something. If it wasn't,
you just scarred.
I had like.
The South Philly white people.
If we get back into our bloodlines, then we all have to know that if it wasn't like for some white person back somewhere, we wouldn't be here. Now, me personally, like I actually know.
Because you see your skin color, look, you almost the same look.
Yeah, and my great-great-grandmother lived.
I'm a little lighter, ooh.
She lived until she was 104, so she was able to tell me who her grandfather was, who was an Irishman, and her grandmother was a Cherokee Indian. So you used to walk around with bergamot grease in your hair back in the day. Oh, did I?
And
hard pressed.
Yeah, you had the two ponytails.
Yeah.
Did you tell any of your first boyfriends that I got Indian in me? And when they asked what kind of Indian,
let me explain something to you. That's so funny, because let me tell you something. When I was a little kid, right? When I was a kid,
at least you got Cherokee in you.
Listen, when I was a kid on my mother and father's side, my father's side is Cherokee as well.
Right.
But they will always say that they was Cherokee. Like they never say like we're not. Like they would always, tell us what we was.
Right.
So when I was a kid, when I was in school, I always just be like, well, I'm a Cherokee, and people would laugh because they were like, all black people say they Indians.
We did.
So, listen, we did. So one day I remember going home talking to my great grandmother, and I wasn't no little kid then. I was older because I started getting into history. Because what happened was when she would tell me things about her family, and then I go. And then people be like, well, no, that was not. And I'm like, well, this is what my grandmother said. She gonna lie? I mean, I'm looking at her. I know what she looked like, so I know she's probably not lying to me.
Right.
And why would she? Right? So I said to her one day, and it made so much sense after she answered me. I came home from school. First, I said, Mom, when your people were slaves, and so she looked at me.
Whoa. What she say?
She said, my people wasn't no goddamn slaves. That was her response. So now I'm looking, because I'm like, well, they said all black people.
All blacks wasn't.
No, I know, but we didn't know that, because that's what school teaches us. If you listen to school, every last black person that came to this country came from a slave ship in Africa. That is the history that we are taught. Now, whether it remains to be seen whether actually all of it is true. Because 9 times out of 10, all of it is not. But
that's everything that we learn.
This is what we learn. This is what we learn.
A lot of it may not have validity.
And so because I had I'm
thankful for the information though.
Yeah. But maybe because my grandmother lived until she was 104, and I was an adult when she died. A lot of people don't get that blessing to have a person that old, because she was born in 1889. Mm-hmm. So when my daughter turned 1, she turned 100. And she had all her senses, and I would ask her as many questions as I could think of at the time.
Yeah, I think we all did.
Yeah,
that's a blessing.
She was just like a history book to me. So I said to her, why we never go down south? We'll never go down south and visit our people.
Because your people may not migrated from south.
No, she did. No, she came. I did
from Virginia.
Listen, I did a genealogy research. I know exactly when she came to the United States, and to Philly, and exactly how many kids she had when she came here. Because she had 9 children. She had her last 2 youngest children here. She came here in 1920. from Accomack County, Virginia. I did a whole
So she okay. I was
research.
gonna say it's either
Yeah,
Georgia or
no,
Virginia.
she came from Virginia, Accomack County, Virginia. So I've really been doing. Once she told me who her grandfather was, she told me that her grandfather was one of the first people to build railroads in America.
Okay.
And that they came from money. So my thing was like, oh, we gonna go down there and get some of that. And her thing was like, they're not gonna give your black ass nothing. Because why? Because her mother had mixed. She was mixed, well, black.
Right.
Although her mother wasn't, she was. So just think about being mixed with black in 1889 in Virginia.
I understand.
You understand what I'm saying? So now that's why she left. And my thing was like, we never go down Virginia. And she said, well, why would you want to go to a place where they didn't want you at? And I never thought about it like that because so many of my friends was going back down South Carolina, and my grandmother wasn't born in the South.
You know why?
She was born in South Philly.
Before you went to South Philly, you was a jigaboo. You just did like let's go down North Carolina. I took my friends down South Carolina 4 years ago on one of my birthdays. 5 years ago. I will never, ever, ever take a group of black men anywhere past Virginia. Never, not me. It was 5 of us. I will never, ever, as long as I live, take 5 black men or minority men.
Who was that? Philip DeShazer. Yes, I'm very familiar.
Never.
He said Dane Calloway on YouTube speaks about.
And that was Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yes. Speaks about blacks being there here before Columbus and them. Well, actually, blacks were here before. I mean, there's a book called They Came Before Columbus by Ivan von Sertima. And so...
Sertima. Oh, what's his last name?
Sertima. S-E-R-T-M-I.
I mean, what's the origins of...
He was black.
Sertima?
Ivan von Sertima, yes.
Ivan
Von. Well, look.
Ooh.
Well, none of the names that we have are ours. We all carry European last names.
I was taught
He's a black man. You can look him up. It's Ivan von Sertima. He was a professor, and he was black. And he was the one who, because of all the stuff that he went through, he became a historian, and he started digging and digging and digging and found out, when the first Africans and, of course.
His sound like his
but he's
parents
old.
was probably Irish
He
or something like that.
He was old from back in the day, but Ivan von Sertima. And
you can go by a lot. You can learn a lot just with names.
Yes, but look at our name. Listen.
You can learn
You can learn so much.
With just names.
I know this might sound boring, but to anybody who really, I would suggest that anybody that's black or whatever they want to call us here, African American, because we have had our title changed. Like from our genealogy research, we have had we've been changed a million times. Before we was African American, we was black, and we was a Negro, and then on my grandmother's census record, she was mulatto, and then her mother, who was the Indian, you can't find none of her shit, none of her records. Everything with the Native American.
Because they didn't have writers.
No, they did. Let me bring my computer in here, cause see, he don't know that where my niece said, niece, you better tell him I've been digging.
Let me say this.
Let me tell you something. They had the first census record. They wrote every single person's house they went to in a pen. And I got the records right off the computer. So I paid $27 for that.
I'm speaking before it was ever a pen. That they used to take the ink and pour in like William Penn and all them machines before the 1700s. Before any of that. Ancient Egyptian.
They was writing on the wall.
But what I'm trying to say is, do you know how long it took? How many years did it take to translate? That's why I'm talking about writers. You notice I always say,
yes, but you think about
the writer. Who was the writer?
They translated, but now that they have translated,
the translation.
But that goes to be what I'll say, because that's anything. That's the religious books. Who gave us
Leave the religion alone.
I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it a bean though.
I know.
Because people don't like to talk about issues that get people worked up.
You know
why?
At
the end of the day, the issues that nobody want to talk about, the reason why they don't want you to talk about it, because that's holding you back. And of course, they don't want to talk about it. Why?
How can it hold you back? How can you gain?
The belief system of some of the things that you might believe, like say, take a lot of the religions for one. The fear of going to hell and burning and your skin melting off, that scares the crap out of people.
That's why these young kids, they need a religion. That's why they don't care.
Like they don't care. Exactly. But it's just the idea.
I always
but even with the people but then you think about it, is it true? Because the priest is the ones that teach it, but they molesting the shit out of little kids.
Not all of them.
A lot of them. A lot of them.
I can't agree to that.
A lot of them back in the
Just
day.
only ones.
Go research.
Well, I understand their philosophy.
No, because this is all. But we're talking about like if you eat, like you see that.
There's a lot of blacks that do it too.
No, there's like
shit.
No, we have been.
I was locked up with the boys, and you can't.
First of all,
them white folks protect them in them jails.
Listen, the laws.
They get protected.
The laws on the book, especially when it comes to black women.
Rapists.
I
hate rapists. I hate child molesters. I just do. And I know how it is when they go to jail. I don't know if you ever been the type jails I'm talking about. They get protected.
Yeah, they do. They protect murderers and stuff too.
No.
Yes, they do. They protect them.
I'm
they
speaking
put them in
from,
PC.
I'm
from
speaking of
experience. They put them in PC.
No, not everybody go to PC. No, that's
or
that's
everybody don't
shit.
always know what somebody always
that's county. That's that county talk. That's county. That's not when you go there forever and you live there. No, that's why you're going through the That's why you going. That's when you're going through classification.
You can't. You can't take up lockup. You can't take lockup in upstate.
No, forever. No, you be on the block. That's more.
You take lockup until you get transferred.
Let me explain it. Because I don't like nobody that speak that you never been there.
No, but I know. But I don't.
You never been there.
I don't have to be that. I have 5 brothers that been in prison. And when that guy that killed my daughter was in jail, he was protected. He took lockup until he was transferred.
That's the county. See,
he was in Greater Ford.
That's
Greater Ford ain't no county. But Greater Ford. I know people that did 25 years up Greater Ford. It ain't always processing.
Can I explain? I went through the system. Can I explain what I have empirical knowledge of, which means experience? I'm not going by what my brother told me.
My personal experience.
I'm not telling you what my brother told me, my aunt, my uncle, my nephew, my niece. I got classified. I explained it a couple weeks ago. That was one of the scariest moments in my life as an adult. Being classified. Going to Camp Hill, getting a number. Gratis for getting a number. Going to Camp Hill, getting a classification. An upstate number. Where you're no longer a citizen. You're no longer classified under your social security number. You're classified with a state identification number through the Department of Corrections. When you go through the county, yes, you're in a little block where you're chilling, where it's nobody, you're not in population, meaning you're not moving around like the normal jail people are moving around. But when you go upstate, you're more in a more or less security block. You're on a block maybe where guys got drug deals, they got drug offenses, where they got only 3-4 years, or they might got a couple years in. You may not be on a block that's a high custody level. But me, I was down as a drug dealer and just carrying guns. Right. I was locked up with murderers, dudes that had 95 to 50. I only had a 5 to 10.
Well, once you in there, y'all need to get.
That's what I mean.
But you can take lockup.
You can't
for your own protection.
Listen. Trust me.
Anybody out there
what they don't do, what them guys
don't take lockup.
I just explained
he
what
did,
lockup
and then
is.
he got transferred to Somerset. He was in Greater Ford. He took lockup, and then after he was locked up.
I know what you mean.
Then he went to Somerset.
He took protective custody.
Exactly. That's
where he was on it. I know what you mean.
That's what I'm saying.
He was on it, but when they get to their natural jail, that Gratis Ford, they do have 2 parts. Where that could be your home jail, where you reside there and do the remaining of your time. But through classification, everybody go to, if you're from a certain part of Pennsylvania, you have to go through Gratis Ford.
Well, I do know that everybody goes through Gratis Ford. But my thing is like sometimes,
and that broke me up.
Sometimes
and
a lot
it's
of
not
times,
cool. Jail is for suckers.
Jail is for sucker. And a lot of times when guys go to jail, people don't always know what they're there for either. So sometimes people can
never discuss that.
Be molested,
now,
certain murderers and child molesters, and nobody won't even know.
The guards, y'all thorough. Some of y'all.
They might tell.
Some of them expose what they down for.
It depends.
They read your jacket. You also get what's called a status sheet. Your status sheet is the status of your incarceration. They have the same thing. They can look and see, oh, he here for murder. Oh, he got life. Right. Oh, he got this. And they tell people. That's how the information get to the jail. You know how many people that live in them type circumstances that get extorted every day?
I'm sure.
What?
I'm sure.
There was guys, Italian guys, guys I got cool with later on and found out they was getting extorted. But, so wherever you at,
it's jail. So just
I don't like you raping women.
Stuff you do.
It started off with talking about the girl on the bus in Arizona, right. But
now
like if you go on the little sites, the little blog sites in Philly, the young boy sites that's doing very well. First 48, Philly 911. The young boy that molested the girl down the subway down Tasker, down South Philly.
And raped the lady.
And pulled a gun out on our boyfriend. And I don't know.
Now, I got a question about that. Because I seen it, but how you raping me and holding the gun?
That's all. A gun is a powerful tool. Okay. A gun is a very powerful.
But don't you think?
One thing I can say.
It's two people.
Nobody can say what you will do.
You're right.
Unless you under that circumstance. Because there's no fun
with a gun
playing with guns on both sides. Giving the workout or being a wide receiver or a quarterback. It's no fun at all. It's just and you never kind of get used to it.
Mm-hmm. I guess maybe it depends on the individual.
I know.
Because you could be in shock.
Yeah.
Just
that's why the young boys take perks and be on all these drugs, Xanny bars, so it can reduce their hypertension. There's no way in the world I know from experience. I never took pills and all that.
Well, if you rape somebody, you should be castrated. They should cut your penis
with
off.
Firearms or pulling out a firearm somebody.
No, I'm just saying, but he used his firearm to rape her.
I don't know if that part is true. They said that he made the young lady give oral sex. I don't know if that's true or not. Because I didn't read the article. I sent the article to you.
It didn't say that. It didn't actually. Well, actually, the one that I was trying to read from the Inquiry, as soon as I get a little bit in it, then they're like,
subscribe now. That's why I go by the source. And you got to read.
Now.
Yeah, because they have a viable source. Like, you can't just go to the internet and read some shit and not say where the source come from. Do you know anybody could put something on the internet? That don't mean read the reliable source. Look where it came from. You know what I'm saying? Because that source information can get you sued personally.
Hey,
that's why some professionals say allegedly. You know
allegedly. Even if it's on camera, it's alleged.
Yeah, because that person wasn't convicted. And now they can sue you for defamation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's real.
So what's the camera for?
The camera is for to use as well, the camera. Well, honestly, a religion explains what a camera is from the best perspective ever.
He said
the camera, the photo or the video is a mirror image of original. It's like a facsimile.
Right.
It's not an original.
Oh, okay. So it might not be him. It might not be him.
It's the best without all the technical scientific facts, because I'm not a scientist.
Eddie Murphy said it best. Who you gonna believe, me or your lying ass eyes? Because I was like, who is you gonna believe, me or your lying ass? I know you see me, but it wasn't me. I know you saw me, but it allegedly was me.
You better chill.
You saw me, but it wasn't me. It was me allegedly.
You better chill. See, the reason why we bring up these topics and honestly to have conversation, that was one of the reasons why I love this show, because it gives us a chance to just dialogue and have conversation versus, you know, on my show, we play playlists. As kids, you got to worry about the artist's repertoire. You got to worry about how the artist feel, if you're being paid to do a certain type of job. Mm-hmm. Because if you pay me now, I'll work for you. No matter if you're a book author, if you're a store, if you want marketing and promotion, I got the biggest mouth in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Pay me to advertise us. We advertise on here. Right now, we building up. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you want us to, listen, sometimes we just have general topics of discussion because we be doing us.
Right.
And we do us so we can do us. This is a platform where we get a chance to exercise our personal opinions based on empirical knowledge, which means experience. You know what I'm saying? I have been through like a lot of things like everybody else. But when I give my personal opinion, I'm giving my opinion based on my studies, my research. I did 5 years in jail, no TV, no radio. I used to read encyclopedias in 90 days. How many of y'all can say you read an encyclopedia? Now, what accolades do they give
90
me?
days in encyclopedias are good. You did good.
It is.
Them books
I had nothing else to do.
You was on your Malcolm X.
I was locked up. You're not going to work out all the time. I'm not running around the track talking about I'm a rapper. I'm not walking around the track for 5 years talking about how much a big drug dealer I was.
Right.
No, I was trying to enhance knowledge of self. When I read it in a book called Message to the Black Man, I went to jail. First of all, the first book was given to me was from a deacon. And I was going through jail as a Muslim. Mm-hmm. And the book was called Leisure Education. So I never was the one to turn away any type of information. I don't care if it come from a Buddhist.
Right.
I don't care if it come from an atheist.
You can get.
I can learn. Listen, I'm grounded in my belief.
You can get
Because what you believe, I don't believe.
Exactly.
Your way is your way. My way is my way. So yes, I'm going to practice through a religion just in case. Because I don't know.
Right.
There's no one that ever came back. Let me say this. There's no one that ever came back and say how good it wasn't. And there was no one that ever came back and say how good it was.
Yeah.
So until then, the saga continue.
Right.
You understand? Because you ain't make water. You ain't make bread. You ain't make chickens. You ain't make cows. Y'all trying, but you ain't the original. You ain't make this. You didn't make air.
You ain't the original creator.
You ain't make air. Make that shit, then you can talk to me.
Listen.
But until then, I'm going to say, yeah.
Listen, because we don't know. You understand? So we do what we know.
I'm going by what my grandma said. I trust my great-grandma that passed away years ago more than you. And she said, boy, you better pray. And I've been doing it, and it worked for me.
Listen,
I don't care what you call it.
We pray. Of course we pray, because I don't have no problem with nobody praying. We supposed to pray. I pray. But I don't know, like, originally what I was supposed to believe. I only know what was the fear of God that was put into my people. For me to believe. Those things that I know.
Jay, what's up, y'all?
We need brothers who come home from upstate to tell the truth about their story to these young boys, or what they go through without the guns and the gravel strikes with life.
No, that's good. Yeah, that's true. Good to see.
We talking about half of the young wolves are locked up and doing these killings.
Listen, the young boys
are high as fuck.
They are. There's drugs. I'm telling you, it's the pills. I know. I used to watch some of the young boys that used to be around me. When I mean be around me, wherever I'm at the time, and it's a good, comfortable spot, and they just happen to come up, whether they see you and they just stopping and shaking hands and they just busting a conversation. Like, that's what guys do. Guys live a different world than women. We don't go out to dinner to talk shit. We meet up on certain blocks or certain areas or run past certain organizations, and we have our little conversation. I used to watch guys take Xanny bars in the morning, talk about how they had little rundowns and incidents just so they could get they heart up to go move out. I'm a guy that came from putting in more work than 5 of your young boys that's the most dangerous in your neighborhood. Do some research. It's nothing to brag about. It's not fun. Right. Nowadays, y'all throwing y'all lives away.
Throwing it away.
Now, let me say this. If you 17 to 19, you got to stand what you do and say. Yeah. If you older than that, it's consequences when it's easy as shit to pull a ratchet and shoot that bitch. That shit is, listen, a baby can pull a gun. It don't take much. It's easy. What is hard as shit to do is that motherfucking time.
Yeah.
I left November 98. It's dudes that been in there that had 10, 13 years in before I got there. And I left for 98. That was 24 years and a couple months ago. They still there. Y'all heard my man calling on my birthday celebration? He said I got 29 years in. I'm tired.
Yes. Let me tell you something.
And he got no expiration date on his shit.
I'm going to ask my brother, because my brother was fortunate enough to, he got a life
sentence. Young boys, put the guns down. Think before you do it.
He got a life sentence when he was 15 years old. He did 20-something years in jail, and he's home now. I'm going to see if I'm because he's kind of shy, but hopefully I can get him on the podcast so he can tell y'all his story. Because, of course, when he did what he did with a gun, he was 15 years old, and he wasn't thinking. And he shot someone, and they didn't die immediately. It took them a little while, and they died from their injuries later. But they still charged him with first-degree murder with no chance of parole. And then because of his juvenile age when he was sent up, it was a law that was passed that you can't give juvenile life without parole. And he was able to come home on that law. But if you talk to my brother, I'm sure he would tell you, do not pick up that gun.
You want to bring some brothers in? I'm going to bring some of the juvenile lifers that just came home that we interviewed for the city of Philadelphia. It's like 4 of them. They did 46 years. One did 46 years. One did 43 years. One fell when he was 15 years old. He's older than me. You know what I'm saying? We're going to bring but what I noticed, because some of the young boys ain't gravitate to the story when the city of Philadelphia, what's the old head? Sherelle Parker. Sherelle Parker, Dow Clark, all them sponsored or got sponsored. How it went down, because I can't remember. I was there. I filmed it. I put it on Philly Uncut.
Okay.
Part 2. All the gangsters from back in the day, from the Zulu, Moon Gang, Carpenter Street, the Tenderlions, the Clang Gang, Lehigh Avenue, all the gangs. The only ones I was like, damn, y'all ain't got South Philly, y'all ain't got nobody, y'all ain't got Richard Allen. But anyway, make a long story short, all the old heads was there, and that's what made the juvenile lifers. They was there because they was part of them gangs, and they was all saying how they never gave up, but if they knew what they knew today, they would have never did what they did. So if you could get the drugs out, that's why I always say, young ladies, we need love from y'all. Honest to God truth. That's why when I hear ladies be a little angry, it's a distraction of giving love to us.
You know what? Let me just say this speaking as a woman, because I think that sometimes everybody expects everything from us. We put a lot out, but we don't get. Hold on.
Y'all mothers, y'all created.
I understand. Listen, don't go there because fathers created.
We need y'all to know, but we need y'all.
Let me just say something. We're always there, though. We're always there, and we get burnt out because we
don't stop being civilized.
We get burnt out.
Let's go back like how it was back in the motherfucker style.
We can't because you know why?
We're going out and go hunt and bring the food back.
Listen, because you know why? Because back then we had men that would come and do everything, and you can stay home and take care of the kids and have the dinner ready when he come home.
So how can we get
now
back to
I
that?
gotta go to work for 12 hours, and then I'm gonna come home and cook you some dinner and wash some fucking clothes. What time I'm supposed to go to sleep?
No, see, that's why I don't live under that.
This is the thing,
I
though.
cook, I clean, I do this. I do whites better than you. I wash your panties and your bras.
Listen,
better than you.
But listen, I have someone at home that helps me with housework and stuff like that. I'm fortunate enough to have someone
to do all
do that. But I didn't always have that. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's when because I just was talking to somebody about my guilt that I felt from what my daughter went through.
Right.
What my daughter is going through.
You still carrying it a little bit?
Of course. But actually, on the next show, well, maybe we got some time, she did an interview. And it actually popped up on she did an interview in Atlanta because she's in Atlanta. Okay. She went down there to go.
Salute.
She went down there to
go. Don't be down there in them strip clubs.
No, she went down there. Gloria was so gracious and said, if your daughter needs some help, I know somebody that could help her maybe get into a drug rehab or something here. And
Thank God
sent
for you,
the damn van to my daughter's house the same day.
That's what's up.
And in 7 days, my daughter was on a bus to Atlanta. Nobody asked me for anything. Nobody asked me for a dime.
Salute them.
Nobody didn't even ask me for my phone number.
Because it wasn't about you.
It wasn't. Because, sometimes, and you can't always get people to do stuff for you without something.
But you know what that is?
Especially, and these are strangers. These people don't know me. They're
But you know what that is?
People.
It's the positive things that you put in the universe coming back.
Absolutely.
That's why.
I believe that.
That's why women don't chicken out on us, like she just said. Mom. That's mom.
No, it's mine. It's Lamont.
I was about to say mom. We need all moms.
What time?
Whatever women is on there.
My sisters is on here. My sister Amina, Sam is on
women,
here.
Listen, y'all.
My cousin Tamika, my aunt Nisi.
Cousin Nisi. Nafisa. Sonic, I'm just assuming that Nafisa.
She's been
Let me just say this.
Life.
Listen, y'all. I'm speaking from a masculine perspective. We need y'all love. I'm going to tell you where we lost it at. We lost a lot of our love with all them goddamn girlfriend parties, girlfriend celebrations, me and girls night out, birthday celebrations.
Hey, get out of here.
No. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all girls trip. No.
He ain't hating on the girlfriend.
No. We need a little bit. Please.
Yo, why y'all don't get together and do shit like the brothers on the movie?
We don't do shit.
When the campers and the alphas, they all get together. Y'all need to get a sorority together then.
Chill. We don't do shit. We need y'all help. So I'm asking y'all women, please.
You hear this?
Give the love back to us.
This is what's wrong. Let me say something. We give all the love.
We don't know how to fit plan when it comes to a relationship. I'm keeping it real for us. We don't know how to set shit up. Movie dates, dinners, decent ass spots.
Well, go ask your sister.
Some of us don't. I'm speaking for the men.
You got family members.
Wait for us to do it, please.
Listen.
We'll pay for it.
Go ask somebody to help you.
Got a big ass wallet.
Because the women don't want to always plan the trip. She want to be surprised. She wants somebody to come home and say, babe, Come here. Let me show you.
That's why we gonna cook.
If you do that once,
that's why we gonna cook.
No, fucking, we gotta eat every day.
See, y'all always want to go to fuck somewhere.
That's right.
Something is wrong with y'all.
Cause you know why we always doing
No, no.
Listen, if we stay home and have dinner, we probably gonna wash the fucking dishes. Like, that's why we want to go somewhere.
No, we sick of y'all always want to go some fucking way.
He is a hater or a girlfriend. He's a girlfriend hater. Do you hear the girlfriend hater?
No,
oh,
I'm just
who
saying.
said bro on point? Jay,
listen,
are you a girlfriend hater too, Jay?
Y'all always want to go some fucking way. Chill. Stay in the house and watch Chicago PD with me. Stay in the house and watch Chicago Meds with me. Damn, the new FBI season about to come out. Chill. All right, let's go and research how to do scripts.
Yeah,
the new
let's
way.
do that.
You know what I mean?
We can do that.
Like, come on. Let's look up how we can open up a savings account. That's plan. What we gonna do, babe, in the next 2 years? What we gonna, you know what I mean?
But that's,
y'all always want to
we have to plan, but we don't want to do all the freaking planning.
We can go out sometime. I love to go out. I love the restaurants.
I'm a homebody mostly.
That's all y'all know.
That's not true.
No, all right.
I'm a homebody mostly, but I do need like 2 vacations a year.
See, there y'all go.
Oh well, I already got. I done been on 2 already.
So all y'all women, and it's y'all go spend all this money. I do it too. Y'all go spend all this money to go to a poor ass country just because they got blue water.
Yeah, because the water in Jersey is
y'all spend $1,500 to go to the poorest because these billionaires put all this real estate there.
Oh, you don't got to spend $1,500. We spent $520 for 4 nights at the top.
You go to a poor country.
That's all right.
Just because they got blue water. Go get you some gas or some a shot of whiskey. Put your headphones on and sit your ass in the house and relax. Sit your ass down.
We tired of sitting in the house, especially when we get our age. I done sat in the house all these years, raising kids and all that. Now I gotta stay in the house, wash, and do laundry.
They know I'm talking about. Only the ones that want to go out every weekend. To the islands. Every weekend, you do not have to go out to dinner. You could cook sometime. No,
I cook all the time.
We ain't talking about you. We talking about women.
All right, we're gonna have a cooking class, and then we're gonna go on vacation.
We could do that next week. And we can bring in, we can bring all your folks in and test our skills. Make tacos. No, let the men do it. Y'all want us to cook for y'all? Yeah, don't get it twisted. I'll bring Chef Millie.
Men cook good.
We cook better than women.
Men cook good. I ain't gonna lie. Listen.
Who would y'all say cook the best, men or women?
I think men cook the best.
I ain't gonna say that.
It depends. It depends.
But
let me just say, men. I feel like that because when men cook, they cook. Like if it's a man
when your man cook when you home, you just getting turned on. They ain't got nothing to do with the food.
He don't really cook that much.
You love him.
I do all the cooking at my house. He might make a couple sandwiches or something. He ain't really be on the stove that much.
What? They don't make grilled cheese. He don't make grilled cheese.
But let me just say this. Before we really was in, he cooked all the time. And then when he got in, then I cook all the time.
He ain't supposed to, because that's what I was told.
That's the bullshit.
I was told, no, it's a woman's job to feed a man's belly. Mm-hmm. That's just old school proverbs. That's all. It's just a ritual.
Who was cooking for y'all before the woman came? Your mama?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's where we get the love from. Mm-hmm. Because if you cook good food, guess where he gonna shit at?
Don't say it's a job though.
That's where he gonna shit at.
We do it because
you feed him right, guess where he gonna shit at?
Exactly. We love our family.
Just make sure you got wipies.
If you love your man and you love your children and you love your family, you're gonna cook for them because you love them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So stop saying no. Y'all tired. You started.
But we is fucking tired. Like really?
No, you started this.
We can't get tired.
Well,
we get tired. We get sick. We get hypertension. We get heart attacks. We get stressed out. We get migraines.
What do we get? Y'all fuss more than we do.
Y'all get hypertension.
As soon as we leave a goddamn cup on the table.
Y'all eat all the poor food.
As soon as we leave a cup on the sink, just one cup. You leave a cup in the sink all the time.
Not me.
As soon as we forget to take the trash out, you forgot to take the trash out again.
Stephen Bree said turkey tacos.
They easy to make. Turkey tacos, yeah. I make anything. I cook a whole turkey and all
in my house. I don't really got, you know.
So you got to keep the willpower, ladies.
But keep the willpower.
Don't go out all the time. Just chill sometimes.
Don't go out all the time, but make sure you go out.
And stop going out to hookah joints all the time on the weekend.
Be careful.
Ask him, do you want to go out?
Be careful. and we ain't your mama. Oh, Sam said we ain't cooking all the time because we ain't your mama. Okay, Sam.
Sam, you hating
Sam.
Sam, you hating Sam.
That's right, Sam.
Sam, you hating Sam.
Because some of these people don't be deserving for nobody to get them no good meals.
So what is deserving?
When you
what is it? All right, he work, he cook, he clean, he work, he give a little good sex.
You treat it ain't always about sex.
No, yes,
it's
it is.
not always about sex. No, it's not.
No, that's a part of it. No, don't do that, ladies. No.
If you treat me good.
Sex is a big thing. If you and your partner are sexual, that is a big thing in your relationship.
Yeah.
Now, if y'all both meet and y'all both agree that he or she is not very sexual, or he had dysfunctioning issues and he need a little Vava or a little CC or a little whatever he take, a little Hennessy.
Little Tiger Bomb.
Yeah, she might need a little bullet or a little deal. It's okay. But don't say that's not important. That's very important in a relationship.
It's important, especially it's important.
People don't want to talk about that. That's important.
You know, when you're my age, it don't be as many.
I ain't saying that.
But it be important when you know.
If you're not a virgin, neither the fucking shade. So don't be trying to. She ain't supposed to.
Don't be trying to take him back into virginity. EA is trying to say. Do not try to take him back.
Yeah, because some guys do that.
Even though you might want to go back, don't try to take him back.
And girl, no, you're not getting seconds. No, you're not getting a second round. No, he was cool with the first round. Where did that come from? He may be tired. He is all tapped out. No, then you want to take advantage. Talk about, come on, second round. What they call? No, second round. Second round.
Round two.
Round two. I think y'all be bluffing, guys. Here's a secret. Go in the bathroom.
Do that with the man.
Get a washcloth. Get a washcloth. Put some cold water on your butt. Then come back out and say, yeah, round two. Beat her to it. That's how you can avoid a round two. Round two, she gonna be like,
if you say round two, she gonna be like, oh no, damn, we just got finished.
My head.
So you gotta play reverse psychology.
So get willpower on that situation.
You gotta have reverse psychology.
So everything is important in a relationship. Always remember that.
Absolutely.
Communication is number one. It's not just all about sex, but it's the small things that you do in a relationship. And guys, if you're not opening the door for that young lady, you wasn't taught right.
Mm-hmm. If you got her walking on the outside on the street, you not taught right.
That's superstition. That shit don't mean nothing.
No.
Because she could get shot on either side.
But it was a safety reason why. Okay. Now everybody got guns. Back
so
when they said maybe back when they said it.
So you can make that a rule.
People wasn't caring just because my
day don't,
on
the right side.
They don't play that. If I'm walking on the outside, it puts me on the inside.
So all right, so that's fair that we get hit by a car? Like, where did that come from? Oh, no. Y'all want us to take y'all out to dinner all the time? No. Now y'all want us to walk and be a suicide boyfriend. No. We got to make a new rule. We might got to come back to that one. Next week, y'all let us know what y'all think about that. Now, we're not putting that to effect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not willpower certified. We can't willpower certify that one. I don't know about the walking on. Now, opening the door for the young lady, yes, making sure she get the door. She's supposed to just stand there, no matter if she's in front of you. She's supposed to stand there and wait for you to open the door and lightly say thank you.
That's right, sister.
Yeah.
My sister said, my husband don't play that. That's right.
That's right, husband. What's his name? We ain't talking about her.
He don't play that.
What's his name?
Her walking on the outside.
What's it? Oh, okay.
That's what he's talking about.
Well, salute him. What's his name?
My brother.
Sean, salute Sean. Yeah, though. He a real one. Yeah, though.
Yeah, but you know.
Salute Shizzy.
But
she ain't teach him that. He been had
he
that.
Knew that.
Yeah, all right. Would you try to act like she taught him?
From South Philly.
She ain't teach him that.
Look,
y'all women ain't teach that.
He know that because he's from South Philly.
No, he learned that from being uptown. Aisha, that's right. She know. He learned that from being with some homies he had from uptown back in the day.
Shy.
That's where all the manners came from.
And Jasmine.
Shy. They learned that from uptown. Uptown, we was born with a little respect. Remember, we had decks, we had grass on our lawn.
We had grass.
Yeah, we
ain't had no walk on the inside. They ain't had no sidewalks.
Yeah, first Muslims uptown was the ones where you had to take your shoes off. South Philly Muslims wasn't doing that. Take your shoes off. You just came in the crib ass.
It depends. Like my aunt made us take our shoes off. She was FOI.
I'm just playing.
But this was a great podcast. Oh, she said he learned that from my sister said my brother-in-law learned that from his father.
See?
That's right. Rest in peace, Mr. Lynn.
So will y'all agree real quick, y'all? Oh, we got minutes. Mm-hmm. Women, it's important to show us love. If you don't teach us love, how can we teach it back? How can we reciprocate?
Yes, it is
teach
important.
us no, it is.
No, you have to teach. You have to teach your son to teach. this is what this is what I used to do with my son. People used to laugh when I said it, but I was being dead ass serious. They used to be like, oh, your son is so polite. And I always used to be like, he's in wife training. And people would bust out laughing, but I was dead ass serious. Why? Because I had some of the shittiest guys in my past, and I refused to let my son be shitty like that. Like, you're going to treat women with respect. Treat somebody the way you would want somebody to treat me.
Correct.
Because if you don't treat somebody the way you would want somebody to treat me, first of all, you didn't get that shit from me. That's your own shit.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But then you're showing that you don't really care about your mom that much. Women look at stuff like that. Like, if you don't treat a woman right, a woman will be like, damn, like, he probably ain't treat his mom right.
Yeah, because some
and
guys
I had some guys. Look, I've been with guys. I heard them say shit to their mom, and my mouth dropped to the floor. Cause
like,
shit,
what do you think he gonna say?
Because my mom like this tall, but she would have put.
What do you think he gonna say? Yo,
she would have put a foot in my throat. You know what I'm saying? So some of the stuff that, and I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, you talk to your mom like that. If you talk to your mom like that, I'm not that special, cause your mom not that special to you. So if your mom not that special to you, then I definitely can't be that special to you. And that's the way I see it.
Now, I got a topic for next week, and I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for these two topics, and they're very, very sensitive topics, but I want people to be always honest. And
Jay said, this young generation has to go through the rite of passage from boys to men, from girls to women. All parts of the rites of passage from boys to men. And you know what?
That is true.
Before we go, it's like in almost every religion, there is a rite of passage. Like, you see the Jewish, when the boys turn 13, they give them a bar mitzvah. And that celebrates, like, you coming into manhood. And now you have these manhood responsibilities. We don't do that.
It's a ritual that came from a religious background.
Right, but we still don't, like, even in African.
But
right.
We don't even celebrate Kwanzaa.
Listen.
Like, seriously.
Right, but see, Kwanzaa technically, Kwanzaa was something that was created recently, within the last...
It was. 50 years.
Right, within the last 50 years, because we really don't know what we really did, because we only know what we was taught.
My research, if I remember correctly, it was done by a professor. I think he went to Temple University. Have I done correct? If my research was correctly, and it was for African American people.
Yes,
and it celebrated our rituals that we used to do, like dancing. You know, we always
unity. Yeah. It was like unity, purpose. It's like these 5 different things. Like,
let me ask you a question real quick, and don't just say it. What kind of soda are you drinking?
Canada Dry ginger ale.
I got her. Last week she argued with me. I do not say ginger ale. I say ginger ale. She was trying to act like a clear folk because she was with her white friends last week, and she was fronting on me. I got her ass.
No. Do you know that white people say ginger ale? No. Sorry.
We said ginger ale. We been saying ginger ale.
Oh, they
like they got a railing on it.
Oh, they say it too in Philly.
It's ginger ale, people.
They say white people.
There's no railing on the soda, okay? It don't need leverage, okay?
It's a rail.
Okay, it's not a rail. I knew. I was plotting. I said,
he was trying to get me to say it for a long time. He got me.
She thought about it, but then it was not on my.
You hear my niece said, EA, you talking crazy.
I got her ass. Got her ass. Yep. Because y'all remember.
I said last week, I said,
she told me, I don't say ginger.
I go back.
I don't say ginger ale. She was trying to be all proper. Because that smart guy was up here with the book.
That's my other person that's inside me, because I got like split personality.
No, it was a smart guy up here with the book. She was all trying to be intellectual. Tell me, I don't say ginger ale. I say ale. And I got her ass straight today. You're going to learn today.
Jay said we have to get back to the black roots of things. You know, Jay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, because
what is the roots? But
this is the whole thing. What are the roots? Because we don't really know.
And not the fucking roots picnic. Because we're not getting hung no more.
And not the roots of Kinta.
Sorry, my guys. But just change the name. Cookout. Roots Cookout.
Overstand. Mothers are first teachers, so don't stop. I've learned the stretch of and wars can make a house a home. So when I get there, I don't want to have to think about war no more. Absolutely.
Wow.
And that is important, because men don't want to go home. Men don't want to go home to women that argue. But women don't want men to come home and be on no bullshit. And then you won't have no argument.
And bullshit men is stop having your secret bitches.
Yeah.
That's all.
You want it, cause be careful.
That's all it is.
Be careful of when you're coming home if you don't want nobody to say nothing to you.
Honestly, just don't commit yourself. Be open in your relationship. When y'all dating, first thing real quick, and we got about 2 minutes, just do this. Have an open discussion about where do you see us at? Do you want to be in a committed relationship, or you want to still date? It's when a person says they want to date, that just means that they want to date a little while to see if you're the match. That don't mean they want to fuck around or sleep around or fuck with a lot of women or fuck with a lot of men. No, they should want to weigh out their options.
Absolutely. I don't have no problem with you weighing out your options, but be honest. Don't be weighing out your options and telling me you're not weighing out your options while you with me, and then you got me thinking we gonna be up in this, and then you really don't want, because you know.
Don't feel entitled. Don't feel entitled to the
Be honest from the jump. Be honest from the jump. Because see, what ends up happening is, let me just say something. And
relationship will throw you off.
Yes, you missed her. Let me just say this. Take it from me, because I was a very young and naive type of person when I was young. So I did all kinds of ways. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And
I could tell.
I'm just who I am, and if you don't like this, then I really go ahead. I'm not going to cry no more. I'm on my Mary J. Blige. I'm not ever going to cry no more.
Well, sing there, you on Mary J. Blige.
So when you get, so this is why I say, when you're young and you get in relationships, don't do people dirty, because what happens is when you do them dirty, they're building up all this stuff, and then the next people get all the effects of all. If you do one thing like that other person that did the dirtiness, then you might get the cold shoulder.
Man, you see what she just did? If you got a woman and she got that finger, I'm telling you, that's the sign. If they silence you, if they get quiet, and it's normally not quiet, and then when you go to say what's wrong or whatever the break ice is, and they start off with that finger, you're done. Act like you gotta go to the bathroom fast and wait. I'm telling you, you don't want that finger. And you don't want the silence. Yeah, because karma come back through. Yes, it do. Yes, it do. Man, karma. And I was actually at home. And before we go off the air, shout out to Yama, because while I just was having to go through your Amazon Prime, and this movie called Karma came up. And who was in it? Kiana Nicole. Yama is in the movie. And I didn't get to finish watching it because I had just started watching it. So when I go home, I'm going to finish watching it because I didn't get to see her. Wow. But I seen her name in the credits. Wow.
So shout out to Yama, Kiana Nicole. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us on WillPower UnSurfaced. It was a great show. We appreciate all of you guys that tuned in. I apologize, Philip, DeShazer, and Steve and Breeze. You guys were asking questions, and he was saying something about the Philly move. We'll talk about that another time. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, give them the
email address so they can send your email. If you have questions and topics that you want to go over and we conversate about it, send all those topics of discussions.
Send it to willpowerthemovement@gmail.com. That's
one more time.
Willpowerthemovement@gmail.com. All one word. Willpowerthemovement@gmail.com. And send me topics, some things you'd like to talk about, some things that we talked about that we didn't get to fully discuss. Put those things on the Gmail. And again, that's willpowerthemovement.com. And we'll see you guys next Monday on WillPower UnSurfaced. Thanks, Sam. Love you too, boo.